Hey, Tommy, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, what are you up to today? You're playing what? Final Fantasy 14. Dude, did that come out like 20 years ago? Is it good? You're telling me that I should play it? How come you didn't bring this up before? What do you mean I'm lazy? I'm not lazy. You're saying that I don't have time to play this game. I should go play Assassin's Creed Shadows? Dude, are you serious? I'm like super offended right now. Dude, I've been begging for an MMO. No one has come to me and told me about any of these games. Final Fantasy 14 would be right up my alley. So you really think I should play it, huh? All right, do I get to use a chocobo? Seriously? Oh, man. I don't know. I'm interested. I'll have to see. I really don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For those of you that have watched my content for a while, know that I am now passionate about Final Fantasy, even though it's new. I just want to know more and more. I want to play these games. I want to get involved with the community. I want to understand what's happening and ultimately have fun, have a good time. You know the deal. I say it in most of the videos anyways. But the main point here, and I'll go into why I'm going to be talking about Final Fantasy 14 and why it interests me, community is something that I really, really enjoy. I love engaging with people. I love to hear people's thoughts and insight. I like the back and forth. I like the banter. That's why the Discord is huge. So, playing an MMO might be the play. It might be what I need on this channel and for me personally to make those connections and ultimately be involved with community, because this is what I want, guys. So please, I would really, really appreciate if you hop into the Discord. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Also, hit the like button for the algorithm, and please subscribe to follow along on the journey if you're interested. But today, we're going to react to a video. It's called Everything You Need to Know Before Starting Final Fantasy XIV 2025. This video is by The Main Quest, and what I'm going to do is at the end of the video, sorry this is a long intro, I always do this, I always lose people because I just blab on, but anyways, I get so excited. We're going to go to the Main Quest channel. I want to see what else he has going on, because I truly believe that if you are reacting to somebody else's content, you must, first and foremost, give them credit, and secondly, you should ask your community if they're open to it, to visit the content creators page, leave a like, leave a comment, say where you came from, and then ultimately you can subscribe to that channel if it interests you. This is how I want to go about things. It's how I would want it done to me. I just think that's how it should be done. So anyways, we're going to play this video. It's 15 minutes long, so it's not the longest video. This is perfect for me. As someone who knows nothing about Final Fantasy XIV, what I would appreciate from you also, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on Final Fantasy XIV, why you play it, why you stop playing it, what do you think about it? Anything you want to just throw in there, go ahead and do it. I read all the comments, and I just appreciate it. Let's go. Enough blabbing.
Final Fantasy
All right, here we go.
XIV is one of the most beloved MMORPGs out there, and for good reason. It's got an amazing story, flashy combat, and a world that's packed with things to do. But if you're just starting out, it can feel like a lot. There are systems
Haven't
on top
started
of
yet.
systems, dozens of classes, and people throwing around words like MSQ, glam, and DPS check like you already know what they mean. So let's break it all down. Whether you're trying out the free trial or thinking about jumping in full time, here's everything you need to know before you really get started.
First and foremost, really appreciate it that is a quick intro. This is how it should be done. Me, I can't do it. I can't figure out how to get intros down under 3 minutes. That's my problem, not yours. But I will say, thoughts prior to watching this video. Final Fantasy XIV, to me, people have been raving about the story, about the amount of content that you can actually play through without paying anything, the free trial. To me, that's appealing. If you have friends that play it, obviously it's even better, right? Because I think there's something to do with raids. I don't know how many people are in the raids, but I think if you play in the free trial and you don't have friends that have the full version, you just kind of in with randoms, which whatever. I know who knows if I ever even get to that point. Uh, I've never seen any gameplay, but the intro cinematic that I saw for Realm Reborn, like, it was a 10 out of 10. It nailed it. It was beautiful, beautiful. And it reminded me of what I'm doing in Rebirth. And that just screams Final Fantasy to me. So anyways, keep going. The infamous free trial, part 1.
Alright, let's talk about what you actually get when you start Final Fantasy. By now, you've probably heard the meme about the critically acclaimed free trial. And yeah, it's real. The free trial lets you play A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Sword, and Stormblood all the way up to level 70, which
Wow.
is Final Fantasy's first 3 expansions.
Okay.
And there is 0 time limit and no subscription required. That's hundreds of hours of story, dungeons, raids, and jobs, all for free. What makes this trial so generous is that you're not locked out of core gameplay. You can do the main story quests, run dungeons, unlock mounts, level up multiple jobs, and even glam your character. Sure, there are restrictions. You can't use the market board, shout in cities, or join free companies, the game's guilds, but nothing that stops you from enjoying the game or progressing. If anything, it's a perfect way to see if Final Fantasy is your thing without spending a cent.
Okay.
Once you finish Stormblood and hit level 70, you'll need to subscribe if you want to continue. The full game includes the next 3 expansions, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawntrail.
All right, so I'm missing 3.
Unlocks everything the free trial doesn't. Features like the market board, the ability to trade, use retainers, and access to all the new zones, dungeons, and jobs. The sub-model is standard. You pay monthly and buy expansions separately when they come out if you're really into the game at that time. And then the latest expansion goes back. It's a bit old school compared to buy-to-play MMOs like Guild Wars 2, but Square Enix keeps the content rolling with consistent updates and massive expansions. Each expansion is packed with story, music, and new features that often redefine the game's meta and...
I love how he just said music. You can tell that he's a Final Fantasy fan because the way he said music right there just really alludes to the other games and how beautiful the soundtracks are. So, like, I picked up on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But I do appreciate how he's explaining quickly, concisely, the deal of the free trial, because it's still confusing. People have kind of explained it a little bit, and it's still confusing to me. But ultimately, you get a whole bunch of expansion, story content, gameplay, everything else. Up until level 70, you're missing, what I heard, 3 expansions. So for me, if I ever made it through to the end of the free trial, it'd be a hell of a crossroads not to continue. So let's just keep going.
world structure. If you end up loving the trial, the full version is worth it. But here's the thing. You don't need to rush. The free trial gives you so much content that it can last you months, even years, depending on how fast you play. So take your time. Soak in the story, try out different jobs, and when you're ready to take the next step, the rest of the game is waiting for you.
Combat and classes. Okay. I like how it's not rushed. It's not that FOMO type of deal, or at least not presented to somebody who's interested that way.
Final Fantasy's combat might seem really slow at first, but
Really?
give it time and you'll see just how deep it really is. Unlike some MMOs where you're constantly mashing buttons, Final Fantasy is all about rhythm. Every job has its own flow, with rotations that build over time, and once you start unlocking more abilities, fights start to feel like a perfectly timed dance. It's less about spamming and more about precision, timing, and execution.
Okay.
The game fully embraces the Holy Trinity, tank, healer, and DPS. Each role plays a crucial part in every encounter, and every job is designed to bring something unique to the table. Whether you're soaking up hits as a paladin, tossing heals as a white mage, or throwing out massive crits as a samurai, each role feels important and impactful. If you're used to Guild Wars 2's more flexible role system, this might feel more structured, but it also means encounters are built with super tight mechanics that really test your abilities. Final Fantasy has a ton of jobs, and they're all playable on a single character.
I need more
You don't
explanation on
play the
jobs.
tune to try something else. Just switch weapons and you're off. You'll start with a basic class like Gladiator or Lancer, which then evolves into a job like Paladin or Dragoon.
Okay.
Later expansions
Okay.
add even more options like Reaper, Sage, and Viper and Pictomancer with Dawn Trail.
So
It
they're
takes
like
time to unlock
subclasses?
everything, but that slow drip of progression makes each new job feel like its own journey. Each job has a unique rotation and identity. Black Mage is all about big numbers and mobility, while Ninja rewards fast fingers and constant movement. Some jobs are beginner-friendly, and others are straight-up high-skill stealing challenges.
That's good to know.
But the nice part is, if you ever feel bored or burnt out, you can just switch to something else. You're not locked in, and leveling a new job is its own fun side adventure.
I want to see some gameplay. This is from the trailer.
Higher-end content, especially
Or
raids
the
and
opening
trials.
cinematic.
Final Fantasy's combat really shines. Boss fights are choreographed like a stage performance, with telegraphed attacks, dance-like mechanics, and white mechanics that require everyone to play their part. You can't just wing it, at least not for long. But when it all clicks, few MMOs feel this satisfying.
Question. So, I don't know how it works, but if I'm going through story content and there are these massive bosses, like are there world bosses that people randomly in the server have to gather up and kind of fight? Or are the story bosses that I'm going in solo and it is what it is? Or do I have a party that is playable or maybe, NPC type of deal? Like, I have no idea.
That's fine.
Leveling and progression.
Leveling in Final Fantasy is all about the main scenario questline, or
Here's some
MSQ for
gameplay.
short. If there's one thing you need to focus on, it's this. The MSQ is the game's backbone, guiding you through the story from A Realm Reborn all the way to the latest expansion.
Okay.
It's how you unlock dungeons, trials, zones, mounts, and major features. You could technically level up doing other things, but the MSQ is required if you actually want to progress through the game. That said, there's a lot more to leveling than just the main story. Every job has its own set of class and job quests, which unlock key abilities and give you extra lore. Once you get into the expansions, you'll also find role quests, which are great for diving deeper into the world while earning some nice XP. There are also a ton of side quests, fates, which are
Ooh.
more like open world events, hunting logs, and challenge logs, all of which give XP and help break up the routine if you ever need a breather from the MSQ grind.
How are the graphics? How does this game
If you're
look?
someone who enjoys
on
group
PC?
content, leveling through dungeons is a great option. Duty Roulette gives you bonus XP each day, and queue times are usually quick, especially if you're playing a tank healer.
Okay.
PvP also gives a surprising amount of XP, and if you're looking for something different, zones like Baja and Eureka offer their own leveling systems and mechanics. You've got options, whether you want to play solo or with others. One of the best things about Final Fantasy is how alt-friendly it is. You can level every job on a single character, and the game encourages you to switch things up. You don't need to create a new character just to try a different class.
I like that.
Go
Okay.
that job and start leveling it. There's even an XP bonus for lower level jobs, so you're not stuck grinding endlessly from scratch.
So I think the most daunting thing to me about even considering jumping into a game like this. Number one, people have been playing it for years, so I'm way behind. The skill level disparity is through the roof. That scares me a little bit, especially if I need to get involved with other people. But if I can play this thing solo, and have fun and progress and not feel rushed, then I can buy into that. I can really enjoy that for sure, especially if the story is that good. The fact that you don't have to create new characters, that you can have one character and work up the jobs and progress that way, I like that. That's obviously, it makes it much more simple. That's what we need. I need simple, straightforward to an extent. Things are explained well. I don't need my hand held the entire time, but a game with a lot of things flashing on the screen, I'm going to need some sort of quest markers or, kind of understand where to go. I have tried games in the past. I forget which one. Is it Crimson Desert? There's one of them. The UI was an absolute mess. It was a nightmare. It didn't feel like a game. It felt like, I don't even know how to describe it. It did not feel like I was playing a game. It felt like just not good. It didn't feel good. But I don't want it to be that way. So let's continue.
And once you hit level cap, you'll notice the game isn't about chasing endless gear upgrades. There's gear progression, sure, but it's more manageable than most MMOs. You can take breaks and come back without feeling like you're hopelessly behind. And the game is built
Perfect.
with catch-up systems in mind, so even if you're not rushing to endgame, you'll always have a smooth path forward.
Mounts and travel. How many chocobos does it take to get to point A to point B?
Final Fantasy doesn't give you a mount right away, but once you get one,
That's
the game
sick.
opens up in a big way. Around level 20, you'll unlock your first mount,
Ooh,
a
open
classic
areas.
chocobo, by progressing through the MSQ and joining one of the grand companies.
Okay.
From there, mounts become your primary way of getting around.
This area
and
looks beautiful. I
trust me,
love it.
You'll collect a lot of them. Mounts in Final Fantasy aren't just about going faster, they're also a big part of the game's personality. Some are epic, like glowing dragons and raid bosses you can ride. Others are total meme fuel, like giant frogs, flying beds, or even a literal chair.
Wow.
Most mounts come from dungeons, trials, PvP, crafting, or even seasonal events, so there's
Okay.
always something new to chase. And yes, you can absolutely flex your mount collection if that's your thing. Flying becomes a big part of travel too, but it's tied to progression. You won't be flying right away. Instead, you unlock flying zone by collecting ether currents
That's
and
okay.
completing story quests. It's a bit of work, but it makes finally taking off and soaring through the sky feel super rewarding. Once you unlock flying in a zone, it stays unlocked forever on that character. Outside of mounts, Final Fantasy has some of the best fast travel in any MMO. Aetherite crystals let you teleport instantly between cities and zones.
Okay,
and you can
that's
set
important.
favorites to reduce costs. The Duty Finder lets you queue for content from anywhere, and once you've unlocked a zone, getting back to it is never a hassle. The game respects your time when it comes to getting around.
Tons of loot. Is there tons of loot in this game? Like tons. Do you have to really manage inventory? And then what about space and inventory? That concerns me too. Is it like, like Diablo where I'm running around and I get a sword and it's a certain level, it's got a couple attributes. I find the same sword down the road, it's a little bit better. I have to kind of figure out which one is better and I have to discard it. Like, what's going on? Or is it, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the loot's like. Endgame, huh?
Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. Endgame. What do you do at level cap? What the hell is there to do? Well, once you hit the level cap in Final Fantasy, the game doesn't stop. It actually opens up way more. Whether you're into challenging content, storytelling, PvP, or just looking good in glam, Final Fantasy has something for every type of player, and unlike a lot of MMOs, you're not pressured into a single type of endgame. You can pick and choose what you enjoy most. Let's start with PvE. Dungeons are the bread and butter of endgame content, with
Dungeons
each
and
expansion
trials.
adding a handful of visually stunning and mechanically fun ones. You also get trials, 8-player boss fights that range from chill story counters to wild high-intensity battles. These are a huge part of the MSQ and continue to get more difficult in their extreme versions, which drop mounts, loot, and serious bragging rights. Then there are raids, and they come in two main types. First, you've got 8-player raids like Eden or Pandemonium. These tell full stories over multiple patches with beautiful cutscenes and unique bosses. Then there's Savage difficulty, where the same fights get cranked up to 11 with tight mechanics and strict coordination. These are the real deal, some of the hardest content in the game. If you want something on a bigger scale, Alliance raids are 24-player battles with their own dedicated storylines.
24?
You'll fight massive bosses across equally massive stages.
Oh, I like
and they're
that.
great for players who want epic encounters without the pressure of Savage
I
difficulty.
love that.
Collabs like the Nier and Evilus raids bring in music and characters from other Square Enix games, and they're some of the most stylish content in the game.
All right, so I don't want to react to the entire video because I would like to urge people to actually go to his channel and check it out and watch the video there. So we're gonna just end it with this last portion, and then I'm just gonna make a few comments and eventually decide if I'm gonna play this game. So here we go.
So, it's the time in all of my videos where we do the quick fire round. So here's a lot of cool things about Final Fantasy that I personally love. One of the best things, in my opinion, about Final Fantasy XIV is just how friendly the game feels. I've met some of my best friends in this
I love
game.
that. Love that.
The community has a reputation for being one of the most welcoming in the MMO.
Really?
And
I
it's
didn't know
honestly
that.
well earned. Whether you're running your first dungeon or wiping in a raid, people are usually patient and willing to help out. The game itself even encourages good behavior with things like commendations and mentor systems. Final Fantasy also does a great job making group content feel stress-free. You don't need to know anyone to play. Duty Finder lets you queue for basically everything, and content is designed to be bug-friendly. Most fights use telegraphed mechanics, so with a bit of pattern
Okay.
recognition and some practice, you'll pick things up fast. And since gear is standardized in a lot of content, there's no pressure to have the best build just to participate.
All right, so I'm absolutely loving what I'm hearing, and I think the points that the main quest, and we're going to go to his page as we do this, is making here are really, really good. Really, really, really good. And what I will say is, like I said at the beginning, and he just alluded to it here. He just mentioned it. Community. So I would love to meet a whole bunch of people, gather up, play this game. Maybe this is a game that you kind of play off and on, or maybe you still play it a bunch and you're just looking for other people to play with. We can make that happen. If I jumped into this and I play, we can bring a whole bunch of people from the Discord, sync up and play. This is what I'm yearning for. I don't have stuff like this anymore. I played Destiny for a while. I put 150 hours into it, which isn't that much, and then another 150 with recording and editing and all that stuff. So 3 hours in. Played Warframe for just about the same amount of time, and I just kind of haven't gotten back to those in quite a bit. I need something that's in this beautiful world that I love. So does it not make sense to play Final Fantasy XIV? It sounds like it does. I know there's a lot of people saying, don't do it, man. Don't get caught into it. Only because of the time sink. But I'm not really looking at it as a time sink. I'm looking at it as an investment into being part of a community. That's what I want. So let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm just rambling and not making sense. But I do want to thank the main quest because I think he did a phenomenal job explaining things in this video. I watched the whole video. Excuse me, just smacked the shit out of my mic. I watched the whole video, but I don't want to put the whole thing in there and react to it so people can go and look and watch his video. But what I will say is, please go to his page, the main quest. I'll leave a description I'll put it in the comments section, and I'll leave a link in the actual video description as well. Go to his page. Please hit the like button. Tell him where you came from. Please do it. Please go and tell him where you came from, and then peruse around the channel and subscribe if you are interested. I don't know who this is. I just randomly found the video and said, okay, it's 15 minutes talking about something I'm interested in. I want to hear him out. Very happy I did. So, bunch of stuff here. Quickly, what do we have? So we got Guild Wars 2. I know nothing about it. WoW, Warframe. Oh, my man with Warframe. So this is all, these similar types of games. Definitely check them out. Very well explained. Warframe 1999. I played that. I couldn't get into the whole thing, but Warframe, I was big on Warframe. I loved it. I loved the story. Final Fantasy XIV. Is Warframe worth playing in 2024? Yes. Okay. I'm going to check out some of the other content here, but thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment to me and let me know what I should do. All right. So until next time.